Welcome everyone to our first episode of Campus Conversations. My name is Jeremy, and I would like to just introduce the topic of our show. So we take individuals from our university campus, interview them to know more about their personal life and their educational life. So I'm blessed today here with Victor.
Hi everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us here, Victor.
It's a pleasure.
Yes. So could you just tell us a bit about yourself, Victor?
Hi everyone. I'm Victor. Currently, I'm pursuing my media studies in Help University, and this is my third year. And yeah, it's going to finish very soon.
Okay, nice. So could I just get a bit of understanding of why you chose media studies as your course?
It's actually a passion because I, have shown interest in productions, and I think stuff like this are, interesting. Not just in a way, you have to go around places and shoot, and now to understand how it operates, within overall production.
Yeah. Okay, I see. And what made your decision to actually stick true to this course? And did you have a passion for it earlier, maybe? What made you feel confident in this decision?
It's actually, based on a lot of inspirations that I had ever since I was a kid, the interest regarding to how a lot of things being shot, especially movies, I believe that a lot of us, grew up with movies, TV shows, and all this kind of stuff. So, from there, wanting to know how it, things actually runs behind the scenes, and this kind of stuff actually motivated me to take part in courses like this, wanting to learn and eventually work in that field.
Okay. Yeah. So from what I understand, I feel like you're trying to say is that there's a lot of hands-on work in this kind of department. How has that impacted through COVID-19 actually? Because most of us had to stay at home, am I right? So how did that affect your field?
Over the past 3 years, I would say, ever since 2020, right, March of 2020, up till last year, almost beginning of last year, I would say almost 3 years. It actually, changed my experience of learning, right before I joined the school. I was in a different school while pursuing my diploma back then. And a lot of restrictions been going on, as we all understand. So in that sense, it actually affected me a lot because I couldn't get my experience hands-on, which I think is very crucial for media students. So it's a very sad thing. I say a lot of us would have to only go through videos or just research basically through online, and not much hands-on stuff, like I said. So it's pretty sad.
Yeah, I completely agree because when it comes to these kind of equipment, you'd much rather have experiences hands-on, in person, not so much theory online and whatnot. Okay, let's take a step back. And what would you say was the biggest difference between your high school life and your university life after accomplishing 3 years of degree?
Differences is, I think I have actually learned that have to take more responsibility of my own, have to be more disciplined because basically there's no one else like back in high school would actually guide you. And you'll have to learn things based on your own, even though you're in the constitution. However, the learning constitution will only provide you the tools that you need, but how would you use it, or how would you eventually develop your skills is all based on your own. And basically responsibility, being disciplined. And I think one thing is teamwork.
Okay.
I've learned that teamwork is very crucial. There a lot of things, especially in a production, you cannot work alone, or independently, just yourself. So teamwork is very, very important as well. Yep.
I completely agree. Personally, for me, I grew up in a government high school, and we always were taught to sit quiet in one place and just listen. Whereas in university, you're actually supposed to be more interactive.
Yeah.
You're supposed to communicate and whatnot. So yeah, I completely agree. Okay, and about your university life, how would you say or describe your transportations to university?
Oh, it's a complex one, I would say, because learning. I'd like to share a bit of my experience here, regarding to my transportation. So, back in my previous school, I don't have to take any transportation because I could just reach my campus within walking distance.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy. Within like 7 minutes, it's not very far. So now things change because, ever since I transferred here from that previous school, I would have to take public transport, and add on that I don't own a car personally and I can't drive. So I would have to, take public transport like the LRT and then transfer it to MRT.
Wow.
So only then I can reach our campus here.
That must be a real process.
About 10 stations away.
Wow. 10. Major change. I feel, waking up
Major
just
change.
10 minutes earlier from your past university, and then now you have to wake up like what, 2 hours earlier before your class just to.
Yeah, and an hour and a half earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long one.
And how would you describe our Malaysian transport system right now? Is it reliable for you as a student, actually?
I think it's still reliable in comparison to certain countries. I wouldn't name it.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're taking car, that's a bit of a hassle because if as a student you have to wake up very early on, just to avoid the jam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're taking public transport, I think it's a good idea for students. But however, that you have to time yourself. Time management is very crucial for that.
Yeah.
Based on your own. So yeah, I think it's still all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So you've mentioned that you've done 3 years of your degree.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So for the people watching at home, so what would you give them as an advice, like starting out their new university life? What advice would you give them in pursuing their degree?
I don't have the best advice at hand, but I would say this. Do your own research, basically, trying to find the course that actually would provide you the best experience. And those experiences that you accumulate would eventually, be used in your field, whatever career field that you're pursuing. So I think that, research is definitely a big part they have to do right before they join any universities.
Yeah.
Yep. And then know what you're pursuing. Yeah, basically your career choice again, and don't want to do something that sort of wastes your time.
Yeah.
And eventually regret that you wasted your time on something that you eventually not doing it at all. So. Yep, I guess go with your dreams, go with whatever you hope to do, achieve your goals. Yep, that's basically all my advice.
I definitely relate with that because as a university student, what people don't know is that they're going to be investing a lot of their time and a lot of their money.
Yep, true.
So these are resources you can never get back, and you want to be completely sure that you choose the perfect course.
Exactly. Time is money, money is time.
Perfectly said. What has been the significant challenges you've faced in your education so far?
The significant challenge that I have is basically, meeting certain people in a good project itself where, they're not willing to play their part, and it's difficult, certain times then, you have this project, supposedly we thought about it, something that to work together. However, they just kind of, lays off, I would say, where, wouldn't want to do their part, where, we had to come in and take over and do extra work. And, kind of like eventually they would, thinking that eventually they would be able to, score from there, taking advantage of their group members.
Yeah.
To get the work done. So I guess that's a significant challenge, of what I faced.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like when it comes to assignments, your first big challenge is already completing the assignment.
Yeah.
And then once you add people into the mix and how to manage them, how to delegate tasks, that's a whole
Oh
different
yeah, the management part is it's difficult because you're not kids anymore, right? So you cannot keep pushing them
Yeah.
on their part. So yeah.
Okay, all right. On the topic of classmates, however, there are good times in university, I can assume. And would you mind sharing a bit about your good experiences?
Oh, I have some of my greatest experience and highlights, I would call it. I think one of the greatest highlights is that I worked in worked inside a production for a company. I would say employee project. Yeah, an employee project along with my great mates.
Nice.
For a company called Canju. They provided us this opportunity to show our skills, of what we're able to do. And yep, I think that is one of the best moments, or like I said, highlight.
Yeah, that must have been a really beautiful experience, especially with your friends.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because we got to shot it on site, and did things together. It was amazing. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Victor, for sharing your input. And that wraps up our shoot for today, Campus Conversations. I hope that this talk has been very informative and you've learned a lot. And once again, thank you so much, Victor, for joining us here today. And stay tuned for the next episode.
All right. Bye, guys.